Hi, and welcome to this week's news roundup at the Powers Law Group. Today is Friday, January 11th, 2019. We hope that all of you had a good first full week back to work. We know that it can be kind of hard to get back into the routine of things after a long holiday, but we hope that you guys are doing well and keeping up with our news here at the Powers Law Group. Some important dates that we want you to keep in mind that are happening with our firm. On January 20th, 2019, another attorney at our firm, Cynthia Millian, will be speaking at Boone Elementary about knowing your rights and immigration rights that parents should be aware of for themselves and for their children. On January 31st, 2019, attorney Ruby Powers will be speaking at the State Bar of Texas annual conference here in Houston, and she'll be talking on advanced issues of naturalization. On February 22nd, 2019, Ruby again will be speaking at the Nevada chapter conference for the Association of Immigration Lawyers, for AILA, and she'll be talking on law practice management. And then on June 18th, 2019, Ruby will be speaking at the annual AILA conference. And so, just as a friendly reminder before we get into this week's news, if you have any questions that come up while we're talking, it's always a good idea to schedule a consult with an experienced immigration attorney so that you can get your questions answered fully. As a reminder, our Houston phone number is 713-589-2085, and our New Jersey phone number is 201-210-8240. So just keep those numbers in mind as we get into this week's news. Surprisingly, there was a lot of news this week, so we're just going to try to give you major headlines for you to remain aware of. As some of you may know, there are recent changes to the H-1B visa program. For instance, the major thing that we've heard is that there's an attempt by the current administration to reduce the amount of labor and H-1B visas that are coming into the United States. Notably, a lot of articles have noted that major companies, Fortune 500 companies, were founded in fact by first generation or second generation immigrants. We're not sure what this change and how this change will go into effect, but what we do know is that it will ultimately reduce the amount of labor visas that are accepted and or H-1B visas that are accepted by the United States. As hot topic that's trending for all of you that are paying attention to the news is the government shutdown and the proposal to build a wall along the United States-Mexico border. Republican senators have recently proposed DACA as a means of negotiation with the wall, negotiations. And one thing that they've proposed is offering long-term resident work permits for those who are eligible for DACA as a means of negotiating the wall negotiations with the rest of Congress. So we'll see what happens there. To be exact, Senator Lindsey Graham, who's the Republican from South Carolina, is asking to provide legal work permits for people who are eligible for DACA in exchange for money in order to build the wall. So we'll see what happens there. But it's always important for those of our viewers who are DACA recipients to stay aware of news that potentially may benefit them or affect them. And then, as we said, it's the beginning of the new year, so we're seeing a lot of articles about what immigration attorneys and the legal field are forecasting will be hot topics in 2019 for immigration law. Like I just said, DACA is projected to be a topic of popularity in 2019. Also, we're expecting to see TPS, which is temporary protected status, take a forefront with Congress in 2019. A lot of people who have TPS, their TPS is about to expire, and so Congress might take some steps to bridge TPS to something else. So that's something we're very interested in seeing what might happen. As some of you already are aware, there's a huge backlog in immigration applications, and that backlog is forecasted to grow even more, so just so you keep that in mind. And as far as the asylum that we heard about towards the end of last year, that will likely be litigated in court to see if indeed it is lawful. And finally, one thing that we also heard about last year was public charge in relation to getting a green card to the United States. The comment period for the public charge proposal has ended, so now we're waiting to see if the public charge proposal will actually go into effect. And finally, the news of every day these past 2 weeks has been the government shutdown. Today we are in day 20 of the government shutdown, and as far as we know, there has been no progress made in negotiations about reopening the government. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees are still waiting on their jobs to be reopened or to be paid in some shape or manner. And concurrently, negotiations about the wall continue to proceed. So as far as we know, the monetary demand for the wall stands at $5 billion as of January 9th, 2019. And we will just stay tuned to see what happens next with that situation. So again, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate the opportunity to keep you in the loop with immigration news that we think is helpful for you to stay aware of throughout the year. If you have any questions that came up, or if you want to schedule a consultation going forward, our number in Houston is 713-589-2085, and our number in New Jersey is 201-210-8240. We hope that you guys have a great week. Thank you for joining us.